everybody. In this video is the Build the Ghostbuster Ecto-1 from eaglemoss. This is issue 6, stage 16. We're going to be working on the front suspension and steering. So I'll show what's involved in that. Okay, in stage 16, we got a lot of the steering, and we got some, we got the steering column, we got some of the steering, a gearbox type of thing, and a stabilizer bar. It goes in this one, and we get BM screws, BP screws, DM screws, IM screws, KM screws, LM screws, and MM screws in this stage. So we'll go right to stage 16, which that's not stage 16, that's the last part that we just did. Alright, so you can see in stage 16, we're going to be pulling the frame back out again, attaching some more parts to it, some more of the steering kind of thing, stabilizer bar, and it looks like the steering part, and then some more of the steering. Looks like a steering pinion. And then, now keep in mind I have not looked at this magazine yet all the way through. I'm looking at it as you're looking at it, so I'm just learning. Okay, steering column. Oh, we get to put the engine in the frame in this one, finally. That's cool. And then the front, the wheel that we did in I can't remember what issue that was. The first wheel that we did way back. I think it was in issue number 4. We get to put that on the driver's side, and then when we're finished, it'll look like that. And speaking of this part of the wheel with the hubcap and everything, or the cap that goes in there, center cap, I got some mods coming and one of them has to do with the center cap that goes on here, and I ordered it, and when it comes in I'll actually make a separate video on the mods. So yeah, when that time comes I'll be able to change that back up. But anyway, I'll give you more detail on that when the time comes, and I think you'll like it. Alright, and that sounds stuffy. So we'll get to it. I almost forgot. I didn't show you what this looked like first. See, I'm not thinking right now. Okay, you can see this is for stage 16, and here's all the parts in the baggie, what they look like. And I see some brake lines in there, or should I say they might be power steering, I think what that is. So alright, we'll get to it. On this stage, they want us to take the stabilizer bar, and then the little linkage that's on here. Let me try to zoom in on that a little bit better. Alright, they want us to attach the little linkage onto the stabilizer bar with a BP screw. Stabilizer bar, they want us to take the linkage and stick it in right there, and then attach it with a BP screw through this end, and trying to keep a hold of the linkage so it doesn't turn. You have to squeeze it. Be careful, it is made out of plastic. Snug it like that. It's one. We got one more to attach to the stabilizer bar. And the camera is right in my face, so it's kind of hard to see what I'm grabbing after unless I see it through the camera. I'll readjust later. So, alright. Screw in through here. And the stabilizer bar sits in this little pocket, or should I say the stabilizer linkage part is actually sitting in a pocket on the stabilizer bar. Just snug it like so. Now that part's done, now they want it to be attached to the frame. Take the assembly, position it on the frame like this, so that way the linkage will line up with the holes in this part here and over here, like so. Now I'm not sure, since it's slotted like that, it's kind of, I may have to leave them loose until I get the next part on there. Okay, they want to attach that on there with 2 BP screws. I want to kind of leave it a little bit loose until the next stage, because I got bracketry that holds the stabilizer bar in place. So once I get this on there, I'll leave it loose for the time being. So for the time being, until I get the brackets on, I'm going to leave that kind of loose so I can move the bar around as I need it. Okay, get this side pushed in. I know my hand's almost in the way, but I think you can still see it a little bit. And I just wished I had I'm gonna have to, I've got 3 camera phone holders, and one's too short, one's too long, and one is not what I like. So this, if I could zoom, if I could pull the camera back a little bit further, it's at full length now, so it's, it doesn't seem to work out too good that way. Okay, the next part they want us to do is, they call this 16, it's 2 mounting brackets. Now there is a tab on the backside, and that little tab, now both brackets are exactly the same, but you have like a bigger hole that the tab goes into. Let's see if I can point out like that. This hole is where the tab goes into, and then these other 2 are screw holes. On this one, the tab is on the other side, on the outer side, and then the 2 screw holes. So, okay, this one goes like this. Let's line up the tab with the hole. If I have to use my tweezers, probably, to line that up. As I said, when I got big, clumsy hands, it doesn't want to go the way I want it. So, okay, they want 2 BM screws. So get some a little more light down here, so we see what we're doing. Start this side first, and then I'll get the other one in. But yeah, if you have this model, and you're a lot further along, or you're just starting on it, tell me what you think of it. My thoughts on this, on the model, eaglemoss did a really good job as far as, what got me hooked, well, I don't know how to really explain this. When I first saw the little thing on YouTube about, before I signed up to get the subscription and start building this model, I was looking at the advertisement kind of thing on their website. It told you what they did and everything, and when they first debuted the prototype at a convention and all that, it was a Ghostbuster Day kind of thing. It was pretty impressive. It's like, it looks kind of cool. And then you have this one guy that talks about how they did 3D scanning on the real car, that kind of thing. Well, what kind of bothers me on that is the fact that, okay, it's great and all that they did some 3D scanning and everything. It's like, they scanned the outside of the car or the underside of the car, so they could make this model, right? Well, they did great on the underside. They did really good on it. They did really good on the outside of the car. So that's the underside and outside top. But when they said they scanned the inside of the car too. Well, I want to know what happened, because some of the parts that are inside the car do not look like the parts that they included in the kits. Like, you can go into some of the videos of some people that are a lot further along in their build, like World of Wayne, where he's already got like starting to work on the back end of the car. In some of his videos he's done probably about a year ago, I guess. And in the stages that he was doing some of the inside parts do not look like the real car. It's almost like they were guessing when they were doing the inside. Like, if they 3D scanned everything, then why do some of the parts look like they're for a toy instead of looking like they came out of the actual car, right? So that's what I'm thinking. It's like, that's why you have people doing mods, like Scale Mods and a few other people that are modding the inside of the car, because eaglemoss did a piss poor job of scanning the inside of the car, because there's parts in there that does not look like the actual car. So that's why people are modding it. That's why people are doing mods and stuff on it, so it looks like the actual car on the inside. So there's not too many mods for the outside, because eaglemoss did really good on it. But when you look at the inside of the car, it does not look anything like the real car. There's some parts do not look right. That's why I'm putting mods in mine when I get to that stage, and you'll see it in a future video. Alright, next up, this stage, step number 2, and they want us to take the idler arm, and I'm bumping the camera again, my bad. Okay, the idler arm, and then they want us to attach it to the bracket, like so. And then they want us to attach it with a KM screw, which I've already got on my screwdriver, and I've also put a little 3-in-1 oil on it. So we'll screw that in. Okay. Until it stops. Now it's moving freely. That's what you want. You don't want it to be too tight. I don't think you can tighten it up any tighter. Yeah. And it still moves freely. Yep, that's good. Okay. Now they want us to attach it to the frame. So, right here. And they want it to be attached with an LM screw. So, take that. A little 3-in-1 oil. And they want us to attach it right here. Oops, can't see what I'm doing. If I can ever find me what they call one of those arms that I can attach that's a little bit better made than the one I'm using, I'll be able to use it instead. Why is that not getting tight? Or maybe it is. Okay, there it goes. Okay, it worried me for a minute. I thought I stripped it out. Okay, now that that's in, they want us to flip this over like so. And now they want us to attach the, what do I call this again? fasten the idler arm to the steering rack. So you want to go here, you get the steering rack lined up, and then they want you to attach a DM screw to it. I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning is for using about 7 or 8 different types of screws in one stage. I'm not sure what the reasoning for that is. If anybody knows, you want to leave a comment down below the video and let me know what reason you might think is why they're using different types of screws. I kind of have a thought maybe the reason is because they have different strengths, and might be the reason for it. I could be wrong on that, but I guess for different types of strength type bolts, I mean, every bolt has a different strength to it, hardness to it, things like that. When you're putting together a certain material, it has to be a certain strength so it doesn't break, right? You don't want to take a weaker screw and put it on something that has to hold something really heavy duty, or it will break, right? So I'm assuming it's like that with these kind of screws too, that you would need it to be, a good quality screw or a good strength screw that would go in a place where it's needed the strength at, right? I'm assuming. So see, that's kind of stabilized that. Now on the other side, when we get to it, it's going to be like the steering box is going on this side, so it won't be flapping around like that much longer. Alright, next step. Okay, for this next little part, step 3 of stage, whichever one this is, they want us to take join the pinion base to the front of the chassis. It's the pinion base, and they want us to attach it here. I got to line up with this screw hole and that screw hole. So you just stick it in there like that, and it should fall right into place when I have it in the right orientation. Okay, like that. Now they want that held together with one DM screw and one LM screw. Why the different screws? That's the part I don't understand. And why, in different places, why is it 2 different screws? I ain't figured that out yet, but okay. Okay, the DM screw, they want that here, in this little spot. So let's tighten that down. If I'm bumping the camera, that's because it's directly over my wrist, and every time I turn the screw, I bump into it. Okay, now the second screw is an LM screw. It goes in the other part of the pinion. I would have called it a steering box, but they want to call it a pinion base. So, alright. And they want it to go here. Alright. Not sure why the different screws in the same part, but okay. Okay, I'm trying to turn this in with my left hand so my right hand can hold that screwdriver. Alright, there's that. Now they want us to stick what they call this is the steering pinion gear. I'm thinking put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil on that. So I don't know if I can do this without making a big mess. So I'm going to dab a little. How am I going to do this? Maybe I can drop a little bit on it. But anyway, I'm going to put a tiny drop. I don't know if I can get a little drop of 3-in-1 oil on this part of it without making a big mess. And I think I'm about to make a mess. This stuff comes out fast. Alright, so I'm going to let it around like that, and then I'm going to, they want us to put it in through here. Now I may have to wipe off the excess on the bottom here. Go ahead and put some in here. I'll let it run down under this like that, and I can wipe off a little bit of the excess. Still got some on it. Just kind of drop it down like so. Alright, should turn. It should turn. Okay. Okay, why is it doing that? Alright, maybe a little. Maybe I need to put a drop around the edge again, or maybe inside the hole there. Try that one more time without trying to make a mess here. Alright. Okay. I'm good without making a big mess. If I make a mess, it's on me. So, because that's going to be the steering attached to this, so I don't want it to get stuck or anything like it did a little bit on the other model. Right at the Fast and Furious, it did a little bit. It did get stuck on that one, so it should be okay now. Alright. Now, they want us to well, this is going to get a little tricky. Okay, now I got to flip it over with this sticking out like that. And I got to hang on to it. And I got to use 2 DM screws. So I need to get the screws ready so I can actually turn this over. Because once I flip this over, I'm not going to be able to grab the screws with one hand, so I'll go ahead and get this prepped ahead of time. Okay. So what they're wanting us to do in the next one is they want us to attach this steering pinion, or should I say, no, the pivot arm, and they want us to attach it on the other side of this, so I need to flip this over. They want us to, now it is keyed, so it can only go one way. So I'll flip it around like that. And they want us to use a DM screw to attach that to that pinion gear that I just stuck in there. So we're attaching it with this. Again, I'm sorry for the camera movement, and I'm sorry for the angles, because it's hard to get those angles. Okay, that's starting to turn. Now, I might be able to hang on to this now while I'm screwing that in without it going everywhere, maybe. Yeah, there we go. It's in all the way. Now they want us to attach the other end to the steering rack, which is another DM screw. Okay. This will help stabilize the steering rack. About it, it'll line the hole up. Once it's lined up, and screw it in. Okay, I'm trying to do this with both hands. It's sliding all over the place, and it's blocking the camera. There we go, it's tight. Okay. Next, okay, in this section, we get to attach the steering column to this. Now, there's a certain way they want us to do it. They want to make sure when you're putting this in, make sure that your steering on both sides are facing straight. You don't want them turned or anything like that, because on this, on the end of the column, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a flat spot. right there. Okay, they want that flat spot pointing towards the rear of the car. They don't want it up, they want it down. So you have to kind of set it in here like this. It's not going to stay in there on its own. So you're going to have to kind of eyeball it. Now once you get it in there, it's not going to stay in there by itself. You have to actually put the housing over it, the pinion housing. So that looks like it's about right, but I'm going to put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil on this gear. Yes, I'm making a mess over here. So, alright, put a little 3-in-1 on it. A little drop should do it. And of course, it's going everywhere, but yeah. Okay, gotta make sure that flat spot's pointing down. And we stick that in the little housing right there. So it kind of goes in to little teeth. They're in the housing right there. Now we get to take this part, the housing, and then we get to put that on here. But if I can do it without letting go of the steering column. And without losing my spot on here. It ain't like the one on the Fast and Furious. You just pretty much have to just put it in there, but it doesn't tell you any particular way it has to go like it does on this one. So I have to hold it like that. The steering column turned on me. Alright, get it straight. And take the housing and set it on top. That, and that'll help hold it in place. Now here's the part where that gets a little strange. On the left side they want us to use a screw, an MM screw, and then on this side they want us to use 2 DM screws. I'm assuming it's because of the length of the screw are different. So screw that in to help hold the column in place. I know my hand's in the way, so I don't know if that just stripped out or not. I can't tell, so I hope not. Alright, little 3-in-1 oil on the threads. A little snug. There we go. I'm not sure about this one. I don't think it's grabbing. Yeah, it might be stripped. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to quit turning. I don't feel comfortable to keep going on that. It might actually be messed up. Alright, so the steering column is fairly... it's turning down a little bit up there. Okay, so now for 2 DM screws to go on the other side, I'm assuming because it's a shorter distance there. DM screw. Use my left hand to help me turn that. Okay, it's tight. Now at any time some parts of the model, like if you accidentally strip out a hole, you may have another screw that might actually work, which I've had to do it on the Fast and Furious model a couple times, where a screw hole was stripped out in the metal piece, and it wasn't my fault, it's just the way they had molded it, and it actually stripped out. So I had to end up using a different screw. Okay, so if you turn the steering column, I don't know if it's going to turn or not. You have to help it along. There we go. Turns on both sides. It's actually grabbing, turning. That's good. Alright, so that's working. I can't really grip this too good and turn it because it's not wanting to turn. But it is turning when I turn the wheel here, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, next step. Okay, on this next part, it makes me a little bit nervous. So we get to put the engine onto the chassis. So I have to do that very carefully, without dropping the engine or without messing anything up on the engine, because there is a lot of little parts on this thing. Alright, so as you know, there are motor mounts on here and here. They go with the holes that are in the frame, and then there's another hole back here that goes for the gearbox right there. So you just have to set them carefully in place. And of course I can't see what I'm doing, so and the gearbox goes in its little spot right there. Now we get to bolt this in from the underside. This is the part that makes me nervous, because you gotta flip it over, and I hope I don't mess it up, and I hope it doesn't do anything stupid. So I've already got a screw on the screwdriver, and it's got a little 3-in-1 oil on it. So now to flip over the car and hope that something don't bad happen to it. I'm going to kind of let it rest on the packaging over here on the engine, so I can get the screw started, and then I can probably hold this up the rest of the way once it's like, maybe. So we'll see. But they want you to, this thing's getting heavy. You want to flip it over. Let's do it. Yeah, this is what's making me nervous. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get the screw in. So if I bump the camera a lot, you'll understand. So I'm trying to get the screws in. ASAP. So alright, I'm gonna set this down very carefully. I need the screw and some 3-in-1 oil, please. So yeah, it's trying to pop back out. Alright, so put the 3-in-1. I'm sorry for bumping the camera, but I'm trying, people. I'm trying to do this without hurting the engine, because I'm having to push on the frame. Alright, now that I got it like that, put the transmission back in its home, and now we gotta find a spot to set this carefully without it getting hurt. Okay, now they want us to attach a LM screw in this hole here, so and once I get that one started to hold it in place, and I can hold the frame in my hand and actually tighten them up the rest of the way. Now I may have to do it off camera, because I can't get this camera back enough. I can't get the phone camera back enough to where I can actually show what I'm doing without bumping into the camera. like you see here. So okay, it's not going in. There we go. Alright, it's just temporarily held in at the moment. I'm going to try to rearrange this camera a little bit better in this so you can see what I'm doing. Alright. So this is the part that makes me nervous. So bear with me. There's that one. And now for this one, you can't see much, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm trying to get this in a hurry without stripping the screw and trying to push at the same time. Now we get the transmission screwed in firmly. Now that we got the engine in, tighten that up the rest of the way. Will hold the engine and transmission onto the frame. Alright. So we finally get to see that part. Yeah, that's looking really good. Now, we're still not done for the step. Okay, so now they want us to take, there's 2 rubber hoses that go to the power steering. So this is the part that's going to be hard to see because of the angle. So I'm going to try to get the light where I want it. I'm going to try to zoom in. Maybe I can use the camera and the phone to actually help me see a little bit, because this is kind of small, this part. So forgive me for the camera. Okay, so we're going to see what we can do with this. So I'm not going to put no stiffening wire in this tube, so I'm going to kind of leave it like this and go that way. And I'm trying to grab this with the tweezers. Okay, so on the back of power steering, okay, the bottom hose, I'll do the bottom one first, if I can get it in there. Oh, this is going to be the hard part. Okay. If I get it on there. And it's out of focus, I'm sorry. I can zoom out. Thank you. So get that in there. I think it's in there. I'm not sure. I'll zoom in real quick so I can see without my hand being in there. No, it's not on all the way. Alright, I have to zoom back out for a minute. It's kind of, it's a little bit difficult getting in there. Okay. I still don't know if it's in there. I don't think it is. It kind of is, but yeah. Trying to do it without messing up the hose. Well, that might be the best I can do with it. The worst at, I can't really get to it easy. Yeah, I can't really get to it. It's giving me a hard time here. And I'm bumping the camera and I'm bumping into stuff. Trying to get this on. Okay, that's about the best I can get on that end. I don't want to tear up the hose. Now this other end, we want it to go into this peg closest to the engine. So I'm trying to get the lighting and everything, and I'm not doing too good with that. So we're going to try to hook that on. There we go. It's on there now. Okay. The next holes they want us to put on. I'm sorry for the quirkiness of the camera and everything, people. I'm sorry. Alright. Now the next one is going to go from here over to the other one. I'm going to do that off camera, okay? And then I'll come right back. Okay. There we go. We got the hoses on to the power steering. And now for the next part, we're going to be putting in the assembled wheel and tire that we did back in issue 4, which is this. So we get to actually put it on the car now. And they want us to attach it to the wheel hub right here. Now I did put a little 3-in-1. Since the wheels are going to be turning, I put a little bit in here, but I put it on my finger first and stuck it on there. So I get to attach this to the hub, like so. Slides on. Okay. And then I gotta zoom out again. Okay, now they want us to put the hubcap on. Now remember, there's a little valve stem right here, so you want to make sure that the valve stem goes through the hole on the valve on the hubcap. So it goes on like that. Have to push it on. Now to hold this together, they want us to use one LM screw. Goes in place like that. I'm not sure exactly how tight these are supposed to be. I guess when it stops, that's when you stop. Okay. Now does the wheel still turn? I don't know. That 3-in-1 oil I put in there, yeah, there we go. Now it's moving. It was a little tight at first, but now the 3-in-1's kind of loosening it up a little. Yeah, that's working pretty good. Alright. Now the last step, they want us to put in this little, what do they call this? Want us to put in the center cap into the center. Now, as I said, I ordered a mod that's supposed to replace these center caps, so I'm not going to put this on there. I mean, I can put it, just temporarily on there, just for a little bit, just so you can see what it looks like. But I'm gonna, well, sort of like, I don't think it's a certain way that it has to go on there. I'm just going to stick it right there, but I'm not going to push it in because I'm going to be changing it anyway when I get the mod. So something like that, but it's going to be pushed in. But the mod that I ordered are some different caps, but they're magnetic. So they just go in there and they just stay in there with a magnet. And when I get those, I'll show them to you. But they're a little bit different than these. The ones on the real car look a little slightly different than these. So that's what the mod is for. Okay, and that kind of pretty much finishes this stage of this kit. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit bigger, and it's getting a little harder to get the camera in the position where I need it to be. But that's what we got so far. This is only 2 stages in so far, so I don't know what's coming next because I have not looked at the book yet. So, George, are you soaking your butt again, George? Oh, sorry. Anyway, if you like the little ghost stuff that I put in the video sometimes, let me know if you like that. And well, I guess I'll keep doing it because it is a ghost themed kind of thing, you know, Ghostbusters, right? They catch ghosts, so you have ghosts in your, you know, stuff you call the Ghostbusters, right? Anyway, I don't know if I'll probably keep doing that part, but as far as the jump scares go, it was fun doing it, but I don't think y'all like it too much because I mean I might have made it too scary for some people. So, but if you do like that kind of thing, you're one of those kind of people that like that jump scare like I did in some of the earlier videos on the Ghostbuster videos, you let me know, and I'll do it again. But for now, I'm just gonna end it on a note. So anyway, that was a little bit challenging, but it was fun. So we're making some good progress on the model. It's starting to look like a car. It's getting bigger. The more I add more stuff to it, it's getting a little bit bigger and it's getting heavier too. So probably weighs about a pound or two now with all the extra stuff on it. But yeah, it's starting to get there. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, it helps me out a great deal if you can subscribe to my channel. And if you hit the notification bell, just make sure it will let you know when I put out new videos. Anytime I make one, it'll let you know when I publish one. And it also lets YouTube's algorithm know that you like that type of content. So you'll be able to see more from other content creators that do die-cast models and stuff like that. Maybe even World of Wayne might even pop up. So yeah, that'll be it for this issue. That was stage 16 finishing up. So we still got 2 more stages left to go. So I really haven't looked at the book. So I'm looking at it as you look at it. So it'll be a surprise to both of us. Alright. So until then, and this was a long video, by the way. So until next time, yeah, be safe out there. I've done lost my train of thought. Anyway, talk to you later, or see you later. Bye.